සුබ දවසක් හැමෝටම. මම ප්‍රසාද් ශ්‍රීමාල්. අද PSR බ්ලොග් channel එකෙන් අරගෙන එන්නේ මම කලින් පොරොන්දු වුණා වගේම අපේ mock interview series එකේ internship mock interview series එකේ පළවෙනි interview එකත් එක්ක මේ interview එක පටන් ගන්න කලින් පොඩි hit start එකක් දෙන්නම් විනාඩියක. මේ interviews ටික මම first round interviews ඔක්කොම ඉවරයි. first round interviews ටික මම ඉවර කරලා ඒකට අප candidates ලගේ interviews ටික තියලා එයාලගේ feedbacks ටිකක් දීලා ඒ ඉන්ටර්වියුස් ටික රෑන්ක් කරලා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ පර්ෆෝමන්ස් අනුව ඉන්ටර්වියු එකේදී ඒගොල්ලෝ කරපු විදිහ ඒ අනුව රෑන්ක් කරලා ඒ එක් සෙෂන් එකේදී හොඳම ඉන්ටර්වියුස් 3 මම වෙනම වෙන් කරගත්තා. ඒ මම දැන් මේ දාන වීඩියෝස් එකද දෙකද තුනද කියලා මම මෙන්ෂන් කරන්නේ. හොඳම ඉන්ටර්වියුස් තුනක් ඇතුළත තියෙන ඉන්ටර්වියුස් ටික තමයි මම මේ දාන්නේ. ඒ අනුපිළිවෙලටත් නෙවෙයි රැන්ඩම් පිළිවෙලකට මම මේ දාන්නේ. එතකොට අද මේ දාන්නේ ඒ විදිහට තෝරගත්ත එක වීඩියෝ එකක්. ඒ කැන්ඩිඩේට්ස් ලගේ රික්වයර්මන්ට් එක අනුව ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවය අනුව සමහර වීඩියෝස් වල කැන්ඩිඩේට්ගේ මේ හැම එකක්ම සාමාන්‍ය ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් මෙතඩ්ස් වලට කරපු දේවල් වීඩියෝ එක ඔන් කරගෙන ඒ ක්වෙස්චන්ස් ටික පිළිවෙලට අහගෙන ඒ විදිහට කරපු දේවල්. නමුත් වීඩියෝ එකේ පබ්ලිකේෂන් එක වෙනුවෙන් විතරක් සමහර කැන්ඩිඩේට්ස් ලගේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉල්ලීම මත ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තොරතුරු පබ්ලිෂ් වෙන එක නවත්තලා තියෙනවා. ඒක සමහර කැන්ඩිඩේට්ස්ලා ඒ විදිහට කැමති නැහැ. සමහර කැන්ඩිඩේට්ස්ලාට ඒක ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. ඒක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ විදිය කොහොම වුණත් මම මොක් ඉන්ටර්වියුස් පවත්වන්නේ ඉස්සරහට ඉන්ටර්වියුස් කරන්න ඉන්න අයට පවා හැමෝටම මොක් ඉන්ටර්වියුස් පවත්වන්නේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම පබ්ලිකේෂන් එක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කන්සන්ට් එක අරගෙන ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවය මත වීඩියෝ එක එඩිට් කරලා එතකොට එඩිට් කරනවා කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වීඩියෝ එක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මූණ අයින් කරනවා වීඩියෝ එකෙන්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉල්ලීම් මත ඒක අයින් කරනවා සහ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් පාර්ට් එක සමහර අයගේ වීඩියෝස් වලින් මම අයින් කරනවා. කොහොම වුණත් ඒක වීඩියෝ එකට ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඉන්ටර්වියු එකක් සම්බන්ධව දැනගන්න ඕන සියලු කරුණු ටික මේ වීඩියෝස් ඇතුලේ තියෙනවා. පුළුවන් තරම් හොඳට අධ්‍යයනය කරන්න මේ ඉන්ටර්වියුස්. හොඳ අයිඩියා එකක් ගන්න මොන වගේ ලෙවල් එකකින්ද මේ ඉන්ටර්වියුස් කරන්නේ. සමහර වෙලාවට මේ ඉන්ටර්වියු එකේ යන ලෙවල් එක පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි වෙනවා. සමහර වෙලාවට ලෙවල් එක අඩු වෙනවා. ඒ කැන්ඩිඩේට්ගේ පර්ෆෝමන්ස් මනුව ගොඩක් පර්ෆෝම් කරපු නැති අයගේ වීඩියෝස් මම දැම්මේ නැත්te එක හේතුවක් ඔයගලන්ට ඒ කියන්නේ වීඩියෝස් බලන අයට මේ ඉන්ටර්වියුස් වලින් ඉගෙන ගන්න අයට ගොඩක් ඉගෙන ගන්න තියෙන දේවල් තියෙන හොඳට පර්ෆෝම් කරන අයගේ හැම කැන්ඩිඩේට්ම වගේ හොඳ ඇවරේජ් above average level එකක ඉන්නවා. නමුත් හොඳටම පර්ෆෝම් කරපු කීප දෙනෙක්ගේ වීඩියෝස් තමයි මම මේ දාන්න හිතාගෙන ඉන්නේ. සමහර කොච්චර හොඳට පර්ෆෝම් කරත් ගොඩක් අයගේ පරද්දන තැන් කීපයක් තියෙනවා. ඒවත් මම විශේෂයෙන් නෝටිස් කරනවා. මම මේ වීඩියෝස් පළවෙනි රවුන්ඩ් එකේ වීඩියෝස් තුන ඉවරනාට පස්සේ මම රීකැප් එකක් අරගෙන එන්නම්. මේ ඉන්ටර්වියුස් වලදී මම පොදුවේ දුන්න සජෙෂන්ස් ෆීඩ්බැක්ස් මොනවද කියලා. මොකද ඒකත් ඉතාම වැදගත් මේ ඉන්ටර්වියුස් ස්ටඩි කරන අයට. දැනට සෙකන්ඩ් රවුන්ඩ් එකේ ඉන්ටර්වියුස් ටික කරගෙන යනවා සහ තර්ඩ් රවුන්ඩ් එකටත් CVs ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා සහ මේ එමින් පවතිනවා. ඉතින් මේ ඉන්ටර්න්ෂිප් වලට කරන මේ වීඩියෝ සීරීස් එක මම දිගටම කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒ අතරේ මගේ අනිත් টপ ටොපික්ස් ටිකත් කතා කරන ගමන්. එහෙනම් වැඩි විස්තර කතා කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. මේ විස්තර ටික තමයි දෙන්න උවමනා වුනේ. බලන්න ඉන්ටර්වියු එක Tamanට ගන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම දේ මේකෙන් ගන්න. ඊළඟ ඉන්ටර්වියු එකේදීත් මේ විදිහටම හම්බෙමු. First of all, thank you for joining for the mock interview. I'm Prasad Srimal, the lead engineer of Brand Finance, London, UK. And I'm doing these things for a couple of months for now. And you can start with your own description or about yourself in brief. Okay. And congratulations for your current GPA because that's for consecutive semesters to keep that kind of GPA is quite hard. And I'm sure that you have done a good job with your academics so far. Right. So how about your projects? I can see in your CV there are a couple of projects you have mentioned from
Yes.
disaster management to the patient registration system. What is the ongoing project? I think the disaster management one, right?
Disaster management. Yes, sir.
And all the others are already completed or?
Yes, sir. Already completed. It's all a academic project.
All right. Yeah. So can you explain a little bit about this disaster management system? You already mentioned that your role is the front-end developers and your skills are React.js and Tailwind. So
Yes.
yeah, that's good. We can jump into some React and JavaScript stuff later. First, can you brief a little bit?
Uh, it's a project, it's a 1 year project. So we are still doing it. That in that system, the user can log into the system and the user can request request some thing that if he or she might occur that disasters, and then that request goes to the admin side, and the admin if there is let's say a lot of requests coming to requesting that same disaster, then there is no checking that that is uh, that thing is actually happened. But if not, one person request, then we have to check that through the police, through the region, then the admin contact the police, and likewise we confirm that. And then if let's assume if fire occur, then the admin should give that it to the fire, like firefighters and like that, and then that person are going to that place. That's the overall thing in that.
All right. So this is about managing the admin side only, or some other civilians can put their disasters, I mean, the news of disasters or the things occurred,
Yeah,
or just the admin stuff?
no, all the side. The user can request and also admin side.
Okay.
And we are building mobile app also for this project, both web app and mobile app. And yeah, and also
All
then
right.
the function, the weather, news, likewise also in here, we are planning to
Okay.
do.
So something like 911 dispatch, is that
Sorry,
correct?
sir?
Oh, the 911 dispatch in the UK and USA region, they can call just 911 and report about an incident, and they will dispatch all the relevant parties like firefighters and
Yeah.
the police department to the relevant place and manage all the stuff regarding that incident. So something
Yes.
like that. Actually, if that
Yes.
if it is kind of it's actually doable, but if we have something like that in Sri Lanka, that would be great, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay. We see the future. Okay. So your role is front-end developer, and you mentioned only US skill, I guess. What about the backend? What are the languages or frameworks you're following in the backend?
We are using one stacks, so the
Oh,
backend is yeah, not
Node.js and MongoDB.
yeah.
All
And
right.
for
Are
the
you
mobile,
planning to?
we use Tata and Dart.
Right. You're also involved for the mobile or just the web app?
No, just the web app, and some UI design I did in the for the mobile.
All right. Okay. And how about the design parts of I mean, the UI UX part of the application? You are doing your own designs or the sketch for the UIs?
Yeah, or not all there are 4 members, so 2 members are doing front end and also the UI UX, and the others doing back end and the mobile.
Okay. All right. Right. Let's go for some academic stuff you probably have learned through your curriculum. Have you already covered the course module data structures and algorithms?
Yes,
Right. Can you mention what are the data structures you know so far
and
when you
data
are doing
structure,
programming, of course?
yeah,
Yeah.
linked list,
Mhm,
and queue,
mhm.
stack, graph, trees.
Okay. Right. So what are the data structures you used in your project in this disaster management system? I'm sure you already used it, but
Yeah,
probably won't remember.
not remember.
How
I
about
think,
arrays, objects?
yeah, arrays and object we already use.
You always use that, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because even though we learned about those different kind of data structures from stacks to linked list to arrays to all the kind of things, but we are still using the arrays and objects
Yeah.
and related stuff inside the most of the most of the industrial projects. Right. Okay. So can you briefly differentiate the two data structures we just talked about, the arrays and objects? What are the differences? Maybe two or three differences?
Arrays, there is a fixed size for array, and we can access array by using index, and when talking about objects, mm, mm, can I compare array and linked list? Subject is
Yeah, actually, arrays and linked list are kind of pretty much the same kind of data structures with having different kind of abilities, I would say.
Yeah.
But when you compare array and objects, that's pretty much obvious because object is a collection of keys and values, right? And if you use in Python, we have dictionaries for objects, and actually dictionaries are pretty much different, but we have both. But in JavaScript, we have objects, and you can say an array is a collection of objects in most of the cases, and we can index by the placement or the index value, and you can always use objects to specify a kind of single instance, and you can use an array to use a list of instances, right? Okay. How about your algorithm knowledge? What are the sorting algorithms you have used? Have you heard about bubble sort?
Yeah, bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort.
Oh, good. Okay. So let's discuss about the simplest one. How about bubble sort? How it
Bubble
works?
sorts, like we comparing near element, and if first element is greater than the second element, then we swap, and then we do it again and again until that number of iteration that the array are fixed. Like if the element are in number, then we go through n-1 iteration.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And how would you calculate the complexity of that bubble sort over the, against the input size?
Yeah, input size, I think there are nested for loop. So the complexity is n squared. If the number of element are n, then complexity is n squared.
Right, because you have two for loops, one inside another. So yeah. Okay. And that n squared is called, the notation is called?
Big O notation.
Big O notation. Okay. So you use big O notation to calculate the complexity of an algorithm, right? Have you heard about the binary search when we are talking about, or when we are discussing about searching algorithms?
Yeah, binary search I learned, but I think I can't remember that. So
Right.
in a tree, Free binary search?
No, that's kind of a traversing thing, but in binary search, you have a kind of a specific algorithm to search for a key or an item inside an array.
Mhm.
Right, I was about to ask you about the comparison between the linear search and binary search, but you probably know about the linear search. That's the simplest one. You just find an item by looking through the list, but binary search is quite different. Have a complexity on that, but that's quite efficient,
Mhm.
right? Because you will find the exact key by less iterations than the linear search,
Oh, yeah.
right? Okay. I'm sure you have already covered your database module, course module. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Right. Do you know about stored procedures in MySQL?
No, sir.
Right. Have you heard about any kind of attacks can be occurred to the database, some of the databases written in SQL? What kind of attacks can be occurred?
Think I don't know.
Right. Because when you are doing those academic projects, you are not much more focusing on the securities and most of the non-functional requirements, right? Yeah, mostly
Yes.
focusing on the functional requirements and get it done within the expected period and get the score. That's fine because that's the requirement. That's the basic requirement. Anyway, when it comes to industrial projects, you are always required to consider about those securities, performance, efficiency, and most of the use cases where uh, client can request you about some kind of additional stuff.
Yeah.
So security is one of critical requirement when it comes to an industrial project, and uh, you can take some notes on that, and you can probably find those things after the interview. Right. Um, so have you covered your software engineering, or probably the module is called enterprise application development? Whatever it is, the software design patterns or
Yeah,
program design
design.
patterns.
Yeah.
Right. So what are the design patterns you know?
I know factory design pattern and decorator pattern, abstract factory pattern, and also a singleton pattern.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's pick the easiest one. What is a singleton pattern and what it does?
Singleton pattern. In singleton pattern, there is creating object, only one object, and also it's like in singleton, yeah, in it's a creational pattern also. There are three type of design pattern and its creational pattern. So it's used to create object and also the object create while handling its creation method, like complexity we hiding from the user. So there are four type of creation. Yeah, singleton pattern, lazy initialization, eager initialization, and
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Have you heard about any other kind of complex design patterns like dependency injection? Or since you worked on React applications, probably the provider design patterns. Have you heard about them?
No, sir.
Okay. You will learn when you are getting when you are getting there. All right. What are the probably you wouldn't know if you didn't touch the backend. You ever touch the backend of one of your projects at least, or you're completely dedicated to the front end of all of the projects?
Yeah, mostly front end, but I try to do some back end in future.
Okay, because I was about to ask about some WP concepts. What are the WP concepts you used in your projects? When it comes to projects, you might not know, but I'm sure you probably know what are the kind of WP concepts.
Yeah, in the mobile app development, I do some backend part. There we use inheritance and abstraction.
Okay, right. Okay, so I have a simple, not simple, but it's kind of a beginner level question for you. It's about a data structure I have. First, I will share the screen and will show you the data structure, and then I will raise the question. Let's see how we can, how far we can go. Right. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right. I have this kind of data structure. I'll say it's an array. Let's say items. And in the items array, I have an object. Let's say ID is 1 and name is item 1. And let me copy this object another 2 times. So I will have 3 objects inside the array. So far clear, right? Right. So in one of these objects, let's say in this, I have another item called, let's take this children. Inside the children, we have item number 11, item number 12, 13, right? Pretty much the same structure, but inside one object, right? And when it comes to this nested object, it also can have the children like this, right? Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
And this can go like multiple levels. You can nest another object inside another object and inside another object. Likewise, this can go for multiple levels. And the requirement is, so this is the basic structure of the array. And the requirement is you have to create another array called new items list, I would say. And this would be a collection of all the items. Like we have inside this array, we have 1, 2, 3. The third one, or the first one, is the biggest one. And inside it, we have 4 and 5 and 6. Inside the sixth one, we have 7 and 8. So altogether, we have 8 this type of objects, right? Some of those only have ID and name, and some of those have children additionally, right? So the requirement is to create a flat array, including all those 8 items in this array without having nested. Got it? Without having nested arrays. So the result array would be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the 8 items in the original array comes here as a flat array, right? So I will separate this a little bit. So you don't have to code can you give your opinion or your idea how you can process this original data structure to get this result? What do you think? So obviously you can loop through this items array using a for loop, right? So running a for loop would go through each and every item, but the original array have only 3 items. You will have to check for this children key because those children key, I mean children properties or children items have another array. So likewise, you will have to collect all the individual objects to prepare the final result, right?
Yeah. We can when first I can use for loop to go through this, and I can check the number of element inside one element, and if there is 2, I can get those two to one array, and then if there is 3, then I will separate it to another array. Then I will do it again and again till the element, till the element inside the element count until 2. I mean ID and name and ID and name. It's like I creating array and then I combine those arrays to make one array. Like
You still can append or push elements to the same array, same final array, but the thing is, how would you actually don't know how far this number of levels can go, right? So if you write one for loop, you obviously can loop through the original array, which have only 3 items, right? So if you have to go one level beyond that for one nested arrays, you have to write another for loop, right? To find this array, right? And if you go another step beyond that to find another children, to find this array, you will have to add another for loop, right? So three for loops comes together, but what if this one have another children, right?
yeah.
And that one have another children, so that goes like so on. So using for loop or using kind of a basic loops wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Any other solutions come to mind? No, not right now. Have you heard about recursion?
Yeah.
How recursion works or recursion function works?
It's called the function inside that function.
Okay. And why would we call a function inside itself? What's the advantage of it?
Advantage to minimize the complexity and
Not quite. Actually, we can call a function inside itself to repeat in a data structure or kind of a, not always data structure, but a kind of a the same thing to loop through over a process, right? look through our process until we meet kind of a logic or a statement where we need to stop by repeating, right? So in this case, we can create a function to loop through these items, not actually loop through these items, but we can create a function to accept one parameter, which is the original array. And inside the function, we can create a logic to go through one of each objects. And if one of these objects have children attribute, then we can provide the same function as a recursion by providing this children array as the parameter. So first we provided the original array, and inside the function or inside the recursion function, we provides the children array as the parameter, and then it goes or it will repeat itself because whenever it finds the children, he will or the function will call itself, right? So the recursion can do the process for you, and then you can either return the individual objects to the array, or you can create the entire array inside it and just return the entire array at once. So, okay. Actually, we are running out of time, so we can go for the next steps. Actually, since you mentioned you already did some developments in React.js, yeah, how about some React questions? What are the component types you used in your projects? Different types of components? Oh, I would ask, that's kind of that would be probably unclear. I'm sure you used functional components in your projects, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you used class components?
Can you give me example? Then I can.
I mean, when you create a component, you can either go for a class component or for a functional component. Sometimes we do both, but not most of the cases, not in the most of the cases. So if you are familiar with functional components, that's fine, because we are using functional components most of the cases, but still we need the idea of class components we have. All right. Okay, now have you used React hooks?
Yeah, some.
What are the hooks you used in your project?
Use states and use effects. For the state management, I use state and like this.
Right. State management inside the component, you can use a state. Have you used any generic state management tools like Redux?
No, I'm trying to learn that Redux in the future, because that project I need Redux.
Okay. Right. So you're dealing with the backend with HTTP request, I guess.
Yeah.
APIs, right? Okay. So what is the API client you use to invoke those APIs from the front end?
Axios. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. How about your knowledge of promises when we discuss about Axios? Because Axios run promises for making those calls synchronously. Have you heard about promises in JavaScript or used them without having Axios environments?
No, I didn't use but I heard the promises like it's wait until something happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I heard, but not very much good. I don't have a lot of knowledge.
Review. you mentioned about some of those AI and ML certifications you got from
Yeah,
Split.
Smith.
Can you mention
Yes.
about that?
Uh, about the certificate,
Certifications? Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
it's first stage and second stage certificate, and in the first stage we learn some AI things, and the second stage we learn machine learning algorithms, and also did some training and testing, training module and testing that module. And also I did some project related that spam detection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the project you mentioned in this project section, spam email detector.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right.
It's
Was that a
machine
group
learning.
project or?
Yeah, it's group project. We use two algorithm, logistic regression and I-based algorithm.
Okay. All right, that's cool. So I think yeah, we can conclude the interview, and I will provide the feedback after the call. After the call, I have another interview, and with the time, since it is almost 10:30, I think we can't have another call. We don't have another time slot to discuss about the feedback. So probably would be tomorrow or within the next few days. I will let you know about a time,
Okay.
another time to catch up, and I will give the full feedback about the interview. Before that, do you have any questions?
Actually, I would like to start my career as a front-end developer. So
Right.
I know I need to learn a lot of things. And in the interview also, I get to know I have to do so many things. And
Yeah.
so,
Right. Front-end development is quite a whole thing because I joined the industry as front-end developer, and still I'm a front-end developer. But uh, when we are searching for kind of opportunities in the industry, you always have to follow other directions too. Like if you have to if you need to survive in the industry, time to time, you will have to grab other backend stuff, and uh, you will get there once you have the idea in the industry. Once you stepped into the industry, and you will get the idea of when you need to jump into the full stack
yeah,
position or full stack practices, because front end is good, it's highly demanded, but still you might have to do some full stack stuff to survive in the industry, because uh, only being a front end developer doesn't do all the complete all the requirements. Okay, anyway,
yeah.
thank you for joining again. I will let you know the next